I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today we are fresh from the theater, still bloated on popcorn and fountain drinks and candy, of course. Bringing to you our take on the movie Tarot, since we are Witches Talking Tarot after all.
Let's just give a little bit of a disclaimer here. There will be spoilers as we will be discussing
a brand new movie that just hit theaters on Thursday. And to discuss the movie inherently means we will be giving, there will be spoilers.
Yes.
We've never covered anything this soon after its release, but with it being the movie Tarot and our show being Witches Talking Tarot, and we do have that part where we talk about the witchy movies, a movie about tarot seemed like we couldn't pass that up. It just felt too necessary.
Well, I just want to say before we get started, I had a great time going to the movies with you.
Yes,
Amber, it was so much fun. I haven't been to the movies in so long. There's not been very many movies I want to see in theaters. And it was great. It was so much fun.
Well, and it was a lot of fun because we went to a Sunday matinee. And there was nobody there, so we got to talk about the movie the whole way through as if we were just watching in either of our living room.
Exactly. That was great. That was great.
And like I said, bloated on movie theater popcorn. We were going to bring it out here and snack on it while we watched, but Maddie can attest that we each had a large unto ourselves because Maddie likes the butter topping and I am not as preferential because my mom hated it. So we grow up with a thing, right? And so I never had butter topping growing up. We always got a certain kind of Pop Secret and blah, 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 blah. And then as an adult, I always got kettle corn because it was better than what we had growing up, from the Pop Secret perspective, in my opinion. And yet it wasn't the butter flavor, which I had an aversion to, just I don't eat watermelon shit because of my mom. She didn't let me have watermelon stuff. She didn't let me have butter flavor. So whatever. So we got our own popcorns and I had my big ass large and there it was.
Never ate a whole ass large thing of popcorn by herself.
In my stomach.
I know. I'm over here thinking I'm bloated, but I only ate half of mine and Amber ate the whole ass thing.
I just had what I had left was the bottom. My favorite part of the popcorn is the tiny little shit at the bottom. And so it was the tiny shit at the bottom and then the 1 inch layer of normal size popcorn on top of that. And that was it. That was all that was left. I just couldn't push all the way through to my favorite part because I don't know if you noticed, I had tilted it and I started
picking through.
It's because I was going for those yummy things at the bottom, but I was way full at that point.
Oh my gosh.
I have a problem, y'all, and it's called movie theater popcorn.
It was great. I had a great time.
I had a great time.
And the movie, personally, I'm just going to go ahead and throw my rating out there. For a movie, horror movie, whatever, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
I don't usually give star rating numbers to things I watch. However, what I will say is I was pleasantly surprised. With newer horror movies, they usually rely on special effects over plot. And they usually just rely on shock value and there's no real substance. There's not really, for me as a horror movie lover, newer horror movies just are not very good. Period, point blank. They're not.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. But this, it perfectly coupled the thriller, terror, suspense, horror piece that you expect from a horror movie with the comic relief, which came much more than I was expecting. And it was great.
It was great. Fantastic.
Because most horror movies don't think they can poke fun at things or they'll be taken as a horror satire. And this movie seemed confident enough for that. And we're not a movie review. But anyway, if I had to give it a star rating, I think I would probably do 7.5 or 8.
You think so?
I think it for me, because I was expecting it was just going to be all jump scares.
Well, there were
some.
I was going to give it a 7 out of 10, but the ending threw it down a star for me just because it didn't make much sense.
I wish
I think
the
that
ending
was for shock value.
Well, and I think, okay, I love a movie that
Mhm.
makes you wonder. Okay,
Mhm.
like at the end of Krampus, for instance,
Mhm.
right? And so we should probably just not give away the ending, right? Okay.
Right.
So in Krampus, the ending leaves you like, wait, is that, because they're inside the globe,
Yeah.
the snow globe at the end, right? And he's putting them on the shelf, and it's like, are we alive? Are we dead? Like we don't know what's going on, And I feel like it's very much that kind of an ending where
Mhm.
you got some closure, but you didn't get all your answers. And so you can choose to imagine that there is a continuation of this story because
Mhm.
there wasn't an actual finality because of the way that
Mhm.
that ending happened.
Mhm.
Or you can choose to be like, oh, it's fine. Yeah, you don't understand how it worked out, but it's fine. We all resolved everything,
Right.
and it's fine. Because spoilers, we won't give away the actual ending, right? Like we
Right.
can do that.
As
We can
for
do
the accuracy,
I don't think we just did, right?
No, I don't think so. As for the accuracy of the descriptions of
Okay,
the
that's why I
tarot
wanted to-
cards,
yes.
I want to say it was a good
I give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. I
I
want
give
to
it
give
a
it a
4.5.
I want to give it a 50-50, but really I think it's more like a 30,
Okay, yeah.
70. Because they
Yeah.
did mention some proper definitions, but then it just went way out of left field. Like, I'm sorry, the death card as the bad card is so overused. Can't we just use the motherfucking tower? That's the
Well-
one we're terrified of.
They did bring the tower in and say it was associated with Mars, which is accurate.
Uh-huh.
But I really feel like in a horror movie, the tower, could be used more, especially instead of the high priestess. Like, the high
That
priestess
makes no
reverse
sense.
was weird.
The
Yeah,
definition they gave for the high priestess reverse literally made no sense.
right. And then there were a
None
lot
of
of them that, like, the magician, I don't like. Now they went with the pop culture
Mhm.
associations for the magician, but what pop culture wants you to believe about a thing doesn't mean that that's what it is. The
Mhm.
magician is the motherfucking dude who can rule his own destiny. And so many people view that card as manipulation and
Mhm.
trickery. And yes, it can be associated with that based on the other cards in the reading,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean that's what the magician is. And it's a pet peeve of mine
Mhm.
when certain cards are just portrayed as like death, for instance,
Yeah.
or
Right.
the magician.
Sorry, I feel like I do that with the tower. I don't mean to. It's a personal.
Well, the tower, but that's not
That's
the
not
tower's
inaccurate.
right,
It really
exactly.
is scary.
Yeah, the
Like-
tower is great and sudden, tumultuous change. Your
Uh-huh.
tower collapsing beneath your very feet,
Right.
around your head and shoulders. Anybody who's had the moment where your world crumbles out from under your feet and the walls come down around you, and now you are left with the rubble that was once your life. Like, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there way more time, but like the first time,
We don't
oh,
even
girl.
have to.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I was
But the
about
tower
to travel
card
back in
actually
time.
is scary. But
It is.
the one thing that really bothered, I guess it didn't really bother me. Was it the hanged man or was the devil? I guess they did okay with the devil. They could have went far off the deep end with the devil.
They could have, but they did a good job.
did.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't-
your dark side fighting with your demons. I mean, it's about temptation, which
and
we
addictions,
call
temptation,
exactly.
addictions are dark
dark
side.
side and your
So
demons. Yeah, exactly.
which is why it's like, so they didn't go all out with the devil card and they get like the most horrible card, but they did with the death card. And that just death, that when you pull the death card, it does not necessarily mean death. I guess they mentioned that.
They
in the
did
movie a
mention
little
it, and they
bit.
did cover it, I think, because of people exactly like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were trying to appease us right off. But even though they said the devil usually or death usually means an ending or a new beginning,
Mhm.
in your case, it just means death.
That's a cop out in my opinion.
It was, yes, it was a way to just use the death card to represent death, which I've had readings where the death card represents actual death.
Right.
But more often than not, that's not what the death card
Exactly.
means. And so they did do their little disclaimer part to
Mhm.
appease people like us, and then they still went for it anyway.
Exactly. I feel like, again, that was a cop out. Like, oh, we're going to put this
Yeah.
in real quick so people can't say that we just said it means this.
Right. And I mean, like with the hangman, they did kind of get it because they talked about giving yourself over completely. And the
Mhm.
hangman can represent sacrifice or
Right.
self-sacrifice.
What was the word they
And-
used? It wasn't sacrifice.
Right. It was,
It started
but
with
it was
an
an
S.
S. Yeah.
Surrender.
Surrender.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And so like, yes, I get it, but at the same time, like the way that it was all presented was like, do you wanna, do you not get it? Do you get it? Do you
Right.
not get it? Like, are you trying to do the thing that the person who helped with the witchcraft in The Craft, where she wanted things to seem real but not be real, so
Mhm.
that people didn't go out and get themselves in trouble? Because this movie really is like, you know how often we talk about like, don't fuck with shit you don't know about. We talk about protections. This movie is kind of the shining example of everything
Mhm.
that we have talked about for the past 3 seasons on this
Uh-huh.
show, I would say,
I would
because
say so.
they fuck around and they find out. And like, here's the thing, the girl that does the tarot readings, she never cleanses these cards. She never cleanses
She
this
claims she
space.
knows all about, tarot, and she's a tarot reader, and she's been practicing for so long. But like you said, she doesn't cleanse the space. She doesn't cleanse the cards. She knows you shouldn't be using
Right,
random
she
cards.
even says, yes, she even says, and it's in one of the previews, so that's not even a spoiler, but she
So-
says, she knows that you're not supposed to use
but
somebody
she
else's cards.
still does. So
But
it,
peer pressure, she gets peer pressured into it, and she does it.
she bothers me.
She
I
annoys
don't
me.
mean
I
to be
wish she wasn't.
the way she was.
Yeah,
Was-
there you go.
wasn't
Thank you for
written the way
saving
she
me.
was, because like
I was about to give away a big spoiler.
the thing for me is, I think she represents everything that we as a podcast are trying to prevent when it comes to new practitioners or people getting into divination. She's very
There's that
uneducated.
saying, she knows just enough to be dangerous.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that saying has resonated with me more and more over the years
Mhm.
because of this. Because you know just enough to be dangerous. I used to take offense at the term,
Right.
but now I get it.
Right.
Because she is the epitome of, she knows just enough to be dangerous, because not only does she know about tarot, she knows about astrology. And this movie really brings in the coupling of tarot and astrology. And there is a big coupling of tarot and astrology. But this movie goes like left field. Like, she's doing these readings and she's like, your blah, blah, blah is in the 7th house. Bitch, you just found out this motherfucker's birthday. You don't know what house any of his fucking signs are in, because you don't know where he was born. You don't know what time he was born. You just found out his birthday. Don't take so many liberties. Sorry, that one really bothered me.
It's
I
okay,
told
because
Maddie.
it really bothers me. And also I think that this movie, while it is fiction,
Yeah, it was great. Like,
I think
not tearing it apart.
that you could learn from the main character if
Yes.
you are going to practice divination or the craft, or you're even looking into transitioning into paganism as a whole. Not all of those go hand in hand, but just,
Correct.
it's
Yeah.
very, very, very important to do your research and not just do just enough research. We don't stop doing research. Like Amber, I've been practicing for what did I say, 14, 15 years now. Been practicing tarot for 8 years now. Amber's been practicing for longer than I have. I think you said over 20 years.
Over a
We
quarter of a century, because it
still-
sounds fucking cool to say. And I learn every goddamn day.
We still read books
Mhm.
and learn. And that's
yeah.
the whole, you continue to learn. You don't just read a book about tarot and be like, yeah, I know everything there is to
Right.
know.
I'm an
You know,
expert now. Like,
It just,
I was practicing tarot for 5 years before I started seeing the patterns in tarot and
Exactly.
understood that, like, I did research into not just what the cards mean, but I did research into the origins of tarot and into exactly what the Rider Waite
Mhm.
original meanings for the cards were, along with the reasons that some of the imagery is what it is. And it helped me understand tarot so much better. And I understood that there's this whole fucking journey you go through, and like a whole journey that like the cards take you through, and a whole journey that each of the suits go through. And the fact that all the 7s are kind of the same thing, but not the same thing. Because next week, not next week, next episode, we'll go through our first full suits episode, and each suit has its own thing going on. But then within the suits, like, when you look at all the suits, like all the aces have the same kind of thing going on, even though they're not the same. And you'll see in the sevens, they have the same kind of thing going on, even though they're not the same. And the fives, and it's amazing everything that goes into it. But when you just pick up a tarot for beginners book, or you get your first instructional tarot deck, and then you tell everybody like you're an expert, you might be an expert. I am not discounting.
There are so many people like that, and it really bothers me. I'm not trying to be like a gatekeeper.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to say that you cannot learn that much, that quickly, that deeply, but I do question how you would get the depth from just one of these things without going further.
Well, and that's why I say, like, Amber and I have been practicing for both of us over a decade, Amber to over 2 decades, and we're still reading up on. You never stop learning, never. So when this main character is like, yes, I've been reading, tarot for a while, and I know, she pretty much gave a I know everything.
Yeah, she was like, I know what I'm doing. And I mean, again, I like the movie, but the main female character, the male characters were better actors, better plot points, better than the female characters, which I don't usually find.
Did
that
you
in a
eat
movie.
ginger?
I
You smell like ginger.
What?
You do. I just asked because we were talking about how bloated we were, and I know you said that you were munching on ginger that one time, but you do. You smell like ginger.
Well, I did just make my new herb health honey last night, and I was gonna tell you in the car, but then we started talking about something else. So like, I was at Fox Farm yesterday, and I was getting more paprika and more cinnamon because I didn't know if I'd have enough cinnamon to make my herb health honey. And Roz and I both use it, so like, I want to make sure, like, I make enough to last for a little while, because I mean, it's not horribly intensive, but it's messy if nothing else, because you're working with raw honey. But I was at Fox Farm, and I was like, my herbs health honey I'm definitely using as my allergy medicine now that I've stopped taking like pharmaceutical Benadryl, Claritin, like the allergy medicine that is made in a lab, like the chemical stuff. So like, I'm trying to do all natural allergy medicine, right? So I'm like, how can I make this better for my allergies even, right? So I was looking at what they had. Mostly in the powders, because powder mixes way better. Like, we found that when you put bigger objects in the herb health honey, it's less pleasant of a mouthfeel, to say the least. So I got rose hip powder and hibiscus flower powder. Like powdered,
and it was powdered.
It's powdered and it's purple. I'll show it to you before
we
you
could
leave
make
if you
pink
want.
lemonade.
Oh, we can.
Yes,
we can. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I was just like, these are completely like, these are ground up flowers. So it should be good, like having that pollen. The pollen and the flowers that going into my herb health honey, along with the honey, which is supposed to help with my allergies, right? But then on top of it, the rose hips, vitamin C. I could taste like, it tastes like a vitamin C tablet now.
Does it?
My honey.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, that completely nothing to do with it.
No, I'm sorry. I just
guys.
thought I smelled ginger. That's why.
And that might be why, because I took a big mouthful last night and swallowed it with water, like I do. And then I took the fork that I had used to mix it all and put it in a glass of water, so it was almost like cold tea. I don't know. Yeah, like, I mean, so that I could drink it all. And so I could have ingested quite enough ginger that it's coming out of me. It's not impossible. 'Cause I was just talking about how when I ingest a lot of stuff that has allspice in it, my breath tastes like flowers.
Yes. So that very well could be it.
Very well could be.
But on the topic of the movie,
Sorry.
I thought, no, it was me. I got distracted.
Yeah, I just really wanted to tell you about the rose hips and the hibiscus, because like, that's really exciting.
It is exciting because you can make, like, I just saw a video of somebody make pink lemonade, but they didn't want strawberries in their lemonade, so they made it with hibiscus, and it was like hibiscus lemonade or some shit like that.
Cool.
It looked really good.
That is really cool.
But on the topic of the movie, it was I'm gonna be honest, I did not like her boyfriend. He was so annoying. So annoying.
He was the science sucker, y'all.
Yeah. Seriously.
He
gosh.
was the logician.
But I hate
And I didn't hate him. I felt like he moved the plot forward in good ways.
I hate every fucking male character that's like, no, it's not a ghost, and no, it's not nothing supernatural. You, sir, are the one that ends up possessed and kills everybody. The fuck is your problem? I hate it so much because it's like, have you seen the Amityville Horror? Didn't the fucking dad say exactly that?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it's
Oh,
always
that's
a
so
male.
funny.
It's always a male character. I can't think of a single female character that's like, it's not a ghost.
I have seen plenty of movies where a female character is definitely
Really?
not buying the supernatural aspects. I mean, Demi Moore at first was like, bitch, no.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean, she
but
came
she
around.
wasn't about to be possessed. I guess I'm specifically talking about like Amityville Horror, A Haunting in Connecticut type horror movies. You know, it's every time there's a haunted house where the demon's trying to kill people, the dad is always like, no, it's not.
Yep, no. I'm not disagreeing with you because I'm never a fan of those characters, period. However, I do understand them because I personally am going to be looking for a logical explanation first, right? Because one of my worst fears in life, like one of my worst fears in life is like you shoot somebody because XYZ, like you think it's zombie apocalypse, and really like it's like the 401k zombie walk in May, and you're like, oh my God, I'm a murderer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and then people are like, you're an idiot. Like, you really think that shit's real? And it's like, it's absolutely real. Okay, don't forget to bring the popcorn in first.
Oh,
I saw
thank
that.
you so
You're
much.
Sorry, we did just go to the movies, so we could freshly record this episode for you guys. And we also are popcorn lovers. So not only did we stuff our bellies, but we got refills to bring home, but it's raining, so we don't want our popcorn to get soggy.
Right.
So my daughter's about to use my car, and I do not want popcorn all over my feet. And she wants to take her popcorn home.
I got it for my kids and my husband.
Exactly.
But I would love to do this with you again, Amber.
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. I love it. Like, and it is drive-in season.
Oh my God, it
drive-in.
is. I love the and we can be like, hey guys, it's Maddie and Amber. And nobody can be fucking pissed because
we're in the car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that'll be really fun.
That will be really fun. I didn't even think about that.
I know that would be great. Like,
and like, I don't even know what are the rules? Because like Facebook wouldn't let us play something like that, but we don't upload our podcast to Facebook. I guess YouTube.
Well, and it would be our face.
Well, so, I mean, wouldn't there be noise in the background of the audio from the movie if we recorded during? Not that I care, but I do care if I guess it gets taken down.
I guess sign up for our Patreon.
And then you'll get to have it no matter what.
Right.
You can, you get early episodes ad-free for as little as $1.50 a month. And then you get more shit going up from there. So, I mean, $1.50, 3, maybe 10, and then 20, I think is so like for very little or not a lot, you can support your favorite witches and help us go to the movies more and bring you cooler shit. Maybe improve our video by buying an actual webcam now that we've moved to recording on my laptop solely. Like, also moving up in the world, nobody can make fun of us for recording on my phone anymore. Although, fuck you guys that made fun of us for recording on my phone, because that video was amazing. Like, that video quality.
The quality was so fantastic.
Yeah,
it really
like,
was.
We really, like, some people were like, you record on your phone? It's like, yeah, bitch.
Oh,
like,
fuck you. We don't have some fancy $300 camera.
Yeah, like, sorry, yo. Like, we got.
So, you know the movie Annie?
Like Annie,
yes,
curly red hair.
This Annie, every time I talk about the movies, it reminds me of the song where they're like, "Let's go to the movies." let's go see the stars. Yeah. Man, movies used to be so big. The movie theater used to be so
Like-
big. COVID, I'm gonna say COVID.
Yeah,
it killed
it did. It really
It
did.
really
Because
did.
like
They're
Man.
replaying old movies because there's no
the
movies coming
good.
in.
Yeah. Although I am excited because our local theater next month they're gonna put out South Park bigger, longer, and uncut on the big screen, which I did see in the movie theater with my big brother. But we were both like, he was 17 and I was 15. So we bought tickets to some Arnold Schwarzenegger movie because my
Mhm.
parents said I could not watch South Park back then.
Mhm.
And we snuck into the South Park movie. And then we had to make up what the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was about.
They're playing the Phantom Menace, and fuck you guys if you're gonna be shitty and judgmental. That's my favorite fucking Star Wars movie. That, like, to be fair, that's the Star Wars movie I watched with my grandpa, and the first one I saw in theaters. So is it the best one? Well, fuck you guys. I guess not.
It depends on who.
Like, I know
watching.
exactly.
Yeah,
like, it's just, I say that because Phantom Menace is literally like the most hated one in the entire series, and it's like, fuck you, that's my childhood. I love that movie. I love it so much.
Well, and I won't lie, that's why I'm excited because in July they're playing the Never Ending Story,
Oh,
and I don't know if I saw it on the big screen when I was a kid.
Mhm.
It's very possible I did. But I'm so excited to go watch that with my husband in the movies because, like,
I can't. That movie actually traumatized
Betray
me.
You.
I mean, I remember watching it really young. I think I was like 4. And I remember the horse dying, and that was the first movie I watched where I was truly
Littlefoot.
fucking devastated. And then I go up to my mom and I'm like, she's like, don't let the sadness of the swamps get you. Why would you say that?
She has a good sense of
You
humor.
it's not funny. You're fucking with me. Like, I am
That is kinda
sad.
funny.
Like,
I can't lie, that is kind of funny.
oh,
Yeah, no, I remember watching The Land Before Time when I was like 3 or 4. Like, it had just come out on VHS, and we were all watching it. And Littlefoot's mom dies.
oh my god.
And I was like, "Your mom can die? Wait,
my
your mom can die?" I had never thought about my own mother being able to die while I was little. That shit fucked me up.
My
Still
son,
does. Like, love me
think-
some Land Before Time. Ducky's my girl, but
I think for my son, it's probably Finding Nemo because we watched it like a dozen times, and then finally he realized, like, what happened to the mom and the other eggs? Like, we watched it like 4 or 5 times before he was like, wait, what happened? And then I was like, oh, they got eaten, and he was like, oh. So now every time we watch it, he's like, the shark eats the mom.
that was
In the
Barracuda,
beginning,
isn't
yeah,
it?
it is a barracuda,
Yeah,
but he calls
did
it a
use
shark,
the
right?
camera,
Or he's
of
like,
course. I was not fighting follow the trail. I was checking my
have you
memories
seen that
for the
video?
record because it's been a while.
There's
since I've
like a
watched Nemo.
video of this little girl, and she's in a costume, like a caterpillar costume for Halloween. And her mom's like, "What's a caterpillar say?" And she's like, "Rawr!" And then it clips to an adult man who's like, "No, it fucking doesn't. Caterpillars do not say that. They don't like." And then it goes on and on. Like, the shark got Nemo's mom. No, it didn't fucking do that. Okay, it was a barracuda. Like,
Oh, God.
nice fucking try.
Oh,
Like-
God, that's so funny. Damn.
Oh my god. No, I
Gotta
try
be
to
right.
tell him it's a barracuda, but he just don't get it.
No,
So.
it's fine. I was mostly like, it was like I was checking
Yeah.
my memory because like I can't remember the last time. I know we went and saw Dory in theaters like,
I
when
saw-
that came out, but I don't remember the last time we've watched Finding Nemo at this house because
You have adult kids. I
Yeah.
watched Finding Nemo at the drive-in with my cousin, and my cousin got up and was bawling. And I remember hearing his mom be like, "What the fuck? This is supposed to be a kids movie." Like, and she's like, "We're like 5 seconds into this shit, and the kid's
Right.
already bawling." Like,
no, I don't know. There is something about seeing a movie in the theaters
Uh-huh.
over, being elsewhere. You know, like
I know.
I enjoy watching a movie in my house, like getting to do what I want to do while I'm watching my movie.
Right. But there are some you just want to see in theaters. Tarot was one we just wanted to see in theaters. I absolutely want to see
Yeah.
the next Avatar in theaters. Like they're just the
Yeah.
experience is different.
It is different.
And I really had a blast going
I
to
did
the
too.
movies with
It was
you.
a lot of fun.
So I think we should definitely do it again.
Yes. All right.
And-
So if you're out there and you're a filmmaker, please make another witchcraft related or tarot related movie. So we can do that for the show. But outside of the show, I would love to do it again too.
I would. And if you're interested in a real tarot reading by yours truly, you can get one for $35, which will be a 6-card reading, 8-card reading. Between us, we're gonna
Yeah.
be talking to you.
Face to face, because you'll be on video chat through our Google Meet, like how
right.
we
Or
record these
audio if you're not
episodes.
comfortable doing a video.
Right.
And yeah,
Figure
that'll
that
be really fun. We can
Yeah.
give you a real tarot reading. For
Yes.
what? It was 35, right?
$35.
And where can they
you get to
find
be
out?
on this show? So you can just email us at witchestalkingtarot@gmail.com if you're interested in having your very own reading and being our guest on the show, where we will give you a tarot reading where death does not necessarily mean death, but it can mean death.
Is there anything else
Outside
you want to
things,
say about the movie?
I don't want to spoil too much. I think we.
I think we're good. I think okay.
Yeah.
So
It was good. It was. I was pleasantly surprised. It was really good.
too,
I
yes.
was. If you're questioning whether or not you want to go see it,
I recommend
Do.
seeing it. I
Do.
do. I recommend seeing it.
yeah, it peppers laughs through the whole thing, which I love about a horror movie. So it's definitely worth it. If you're a horror lover, if you can't take the jump scares, though, maybe. Yeah,
It wasn't super scary
Yeah,
in my
it wasn't-
opinion. It wasn't like a horror terrified movie. To me, it was more like a thriller with jump scares.
right. But some people, that's too much. For them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
you're
So
right.
since I was talking about it's got comedy peppered through, I just wanted to throw out there, like, if you are not good with jump scares,
Mhm.
maybe it's not for you. That's all.
Right.
If you like horror movies, though, for sure, it's definitely worth it. It's worth, even for a new one, it's worth it. So thank you very much to Death by DVD,
Melissa
Victoria.
and Pam.
We appreciate your patronage on patreon.com/witches talking tarot. And if you would like to be our patron for as little as $1.50 a month, you can find us there and sign up.
You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Witches Talking Tarot.
And you can find us on the X at Classiest Witches, because we are the classiest witches, you know. So
Thanks for
coming
sitting
to
with
this.
I go to say thanks for sitting with us for a spell, and you say thanks for coming.
to
So,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all.
Have a good one. Bye. You guys can still hear me.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this story.
Like a song, like a Santa snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.